Terence Crawford is ready to take on one of the biggest challenges of his career, and he's not backing down. With fire in his eyes, he declares that he is prepared to take on Canelo Alvarez, proving once and for all that he is the best. However, not everyone is convinced. Critics argue that the weight difference between Crawford and Canelo is too significant to ignore, fueling doubts about whether this fight is even fair. Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn has voiced his concerns regarding the size disparity. "I do think the weight will be too much for Terence," Hearn stated. "Even in the Jermell Charlo fight, you saw that physically, I think he's, even at 154, he's just not a big 154. He's definitely not a big 160. This has become the central question leading into the fight. Can Crawford handle the sheer size and power of Canelo? Many believe that, regardless of how skilled Crawford is, stepping up in weight against a fighter as naturally strong as Canelo could be disastrous. Others argue that skill and strategy can overcome brute force and that Crawford's precision, speed, and intelligence might be enough to neutralize the size disadvantage. With both sides fired up, this fight is turning into a heated debate as much as a war in the ring. As the debate rages on, more experts are siding with Canelo, believing that the weight gap is simply too much for Crawford to overcome. Former champion Mikey Garcia is among those who think size will be the deciding factor. Garcia has seen elite fighters struggle when moving up in weight and believes Crawford is stepping into dangerous territory against a naturally bigger, stronger opponent. "I'm putting my money on the bigger guy," Garcia said. "Way bigger. I mean, maybe not in height but in size. A 30-pound difference is a lot. Crawford was just fighting at welterweight 2 fights ago." Garcia's words add to the growing doubts surrounding Crawford's chances. Some fans see this as a harsh reality check, while others believe it's just another underdog story waiting to unfold. After all, boxing history is filled with moments where skill defeated size. But against a powerhouse like Canelo, is this one step too far? The discussion isn't just about a fight anymore, it's about whether greatness can defy limits or if limits will crush greatness. As fight night approaches, more voices are weighing in on the challenge Crawford faces. While his skills are undeniable, some believe that skill alone won't be enough against a fighter like Canelo. The Mexican superstar has not only dominated multiple weight classes but has also carried his power up as he moved up. This is where the real concern lies. Crawford has never been tested at this level against someone with Canelo's size, strength, and knockout ability. Some experts fear that, no matter how sharp Crawford is, he might simply be outgunned. "I've seen Canelo carry his power up to light heavyweight. I haven't seen Crawford do that," one analyst noted. "Crawford is a smaller guy. Is he the superior boxer pound for pound? In my opinion, yes. But going up and fighting a guy who I would say is pound for pound 1A or 1B, I don't know if that will be enough." This argument raises a crucial question: can elite boxing ability outweigh sheer physicality? Crawford is known for his ring IQ, movement, and adaptability, but against Canelo, he may need more than just strategy. Fighters who moved up in weight have either struggled or crumbled under the pressure of bigger opponents. If Canelo's power follows him into this fight, Crawford might find himself in deep waters. However, if Crawford proves the doubters wrong, this could go down as one of the greatest performances in boxing history. The line between a bold challenge and a risky mistake has never been thinner. The concerns about Crawford's size disadvantage aren't just about weight, they're about power. Many believe that even if Crawford can handle Canelo's size, he won't be able to handle his punch. Canelo has built a reputation for breaking down his opponents with crushing body shots and explosive combinations. Fighters who have faced him often talk about the sheer force behind his punches, something that smaller opponents struggle to withstand. Former world champion Sean Porter is among those who believe this will be a major problem for Crawford. He claims that the power difference, combined with the weight gap, will be too much to overcome. Others say, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different, Porter said. I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo, he's going to slow down. So I think, if anything, Canelo will try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before it gets later and he still has that kind of steam. For those doubting Crawford, this is the biggest concern. Even the best defense can only hold up for so long against a fighter with relentless power. Canelo doesn't just knock opponents out, he systematically wears them down, making them slower, weaker, and easier to finish as the rounds go on. If Crawford can't avoid Canelo's power shots, he could be in for the toughest fight of his career. On the other hand, Crawford has defied expectations before, using his speed and intelligence to dominate his opponents. If he finds a way to neutralize Canelo's power, he might just pull off one of the greatest upsets in boxing history. The debate isn't just about weight and power, it's about risk. Some believe this fight is too dangerous for Crawford, not just because of the physical disadvantages, but because of what's at stake. Boxing legend Bernard Hopkins has raised serious concerns, questioning whether this fight is even worth it for either man. He believes Crawford is stepping into a situation that goes beyond just boxing, suggesting that taking on Canelo at this weight could be a career-defining risk with life-altering consequences. Crawford cares about his life, Hopkins stated. What does this fight do for Canelo if Crawford beats him? There are so many other fights that make sense and are less life-risking. Hopkins' words cut deep, sparking conversations about whether this matchup is pushing the limits of fair competition. The idea that this fight is life-risking adds a whole new layer to the debate, making some question if Crawford is taking an unnecessary gamble. On the flip side, some believe this is exactly what makes legends taking on impossible odds and proving the world wrong. Crawford has always embraced challenges, but this one might be the biggest leap of his career. Despite the doubts, the fight is happening, and Crawford isn't backing down. He has built his career on taking risks and proving people wrong, and this is just another chance to show that skill and strategy can overcome size and power. The stage is set for one of the most talked about fights in boxing, and whether people love it or hate it, all eyes will be on Crawford and Canelo when they step into the ring. Crawford remains unfazed. He isn't interested in the doubts, the concerns, or the warnings from experts. In his mind, this isn't a mismatch, it's an opportunity. He believes his skills, speed, and precision will be enough to not just beat Canelo but to knock him out. What's up? Why all I'm looking forward to being undisputed in September. Let's get it. It's work time, Crawford declared. His confidence is sending a strong message to his doubters. While many believe this fight is too dangerous, he sees it as just another challenge to overcome. With a strict training camp focused on power, endurance, and strategy, Crawford is preparing for war. He isn't walking into the ring hoping to survive, he's coming to win. Throughout boxing history, smaller fighters have shocked the world by defeating larger opponents, proving that skill, strategy, and heart can sometimes outweigh sheer size. Terence Crawford, known for his technical brilliance, possesses the grit and determination necessary to overcome adversity. As he prepares to face Canelo Alvarez, many question whether he can withstand the strength and power of the Mexican champion. However, not everyone is convinced that Canelo's physicality alone will determine the outcome. Edgar Berlanga, among others, believes that an upset is not only possible but entirely within Crawford's reach. With the fight set and both camps in full swing, Crawford is determined to prove his believers right and silence the doubters. His sharp boxing IQ and relentless work ethic make him a dangerous opponent, regardless of the weight difference. While the conversation surrounding the fight largely revolves around Canelo's size, some analysts argue that the real concern should be his age and movement. One of the most notable voices in this discussion is Teofimo Lopez, a fighter renowned for his keen analytical eye. Lopez has raised concerns about whether Canelo's legs will hold up against an opponent as quick and elusive as Crawford. Lopez, who has studied Canelo's recent performances, points out that while his upper body movement remains sharp, his legs appear to be losing their edge. The legs are fundamental to a boxer's ability to move, avoid punches, and deliver explosive shots. If Canelo's lower body has slowed down, it could compromise his ability to cut off the ring and force Crawford into dangerous exchanges. A fighter as mobile as Crawford could capitalize on such a weakness, exploiting it to take control of the fight's pace. Even a slight decline in movement can make a significant difference at the highest level of boxing, and Crawford's ability to outmaneuver opponents has been a crucial factor in his previous victories. Lopez's observations have fueled further debate among fans and analysts. The question is no longer just about whether Crawford can handle Canelo's power, but whether Canelo can keep up with Crawford's movement. Footwork and agility have always been defining aspects of Crawford's style. If Canelo struggles to match that speed, he may find himself unable to land his most powerful shots. This raises an important question: if Canelo's legs truly aren't what they used to be, does Crawford have a greater chance of dictating the fight's tempo while physical advantages such as strength and weight play a role? Boxing is a sport where strategy, adaptability, and execution often determine the victor. The late Roger Mayweather, a respected boxing figure, once shared his thoughts on weight divisions and their importance in a fighter's success. According to Mayweather, boxing in the past wasn't so focused on weight classes. Instead, it was about the caliber of skill and a fighter's ability to adapt. This perspective has been echoed by legendary trainer Stitch Duran, who believes that skill will ultimately decide the winner of the upcoming fight. Duran recalls a conversation with Mayweather in which the latter dismissed concerns about weight differences, arguing that true boxing is about skill rather than size. This idea challenges conventional thinking in modern boxing, where weight classes are strictly enforced to prevent mismatches. Duran's belief in Crawford's technical abilities suggests that if he can execute the right game plan, he has a legitimate chance of overcoming Canelo, despite the physical disparities. Many fans view Canelo's power as his biggest weapon, but Duran insists that Crawford's intelligence and strategic movement could neutralize that threat. If Crawford can avoid Canelo's heaviest punches while landing precise counters, he may be able to frustrate the Mexican star. Duran's confidence in Crawford stems from the belief that skillful execution and fight intelligence can often surpass brute strength. When assessing the matchup, it becomes clear that both fighters have clear paths to victory. If Canelo can impose his power and aggression early, he may be able to wear Crawford down. However, if Crawford successfully controls the distance and movement, he could turn the fight into a tactical chess match, one where his superior boxing IQ gives him the edge. Roy Jones Jr., one of the greatest fighters in boxing history, has his own take on how this fight will unfold. He believes that the real deciding factor isn't weight but rather how Canelo chooses to approach the fight. If Canelo fights aggressively and dominates the ring as he has in previous bouts, he will likely win. However, if he deviates from his usual game plan and allows Crawford to dictate the tempo, the fight could swing in Crawford's favor. Jones emphasizes the importance of ring control. If Crawford can establish himself in the center of the ring and prevent Canelo from cutting off angles, he has a real chance to pull off an upset. This is where Crawford's strategic mindset and adaptability will be put to the test. Against a fighter as powerful as Canelo, controlling the distance is crucial. Jones makes it clear that if Crawford can successfully maneuver around Canelo and avoid getting cornered, he will be in the driver's seat. The fight ultimately comes down to which boxer can impose their will on the other. While Canelo has the power advantage, Crawford's versatility and technical prowess give him tools that could neutralize Canelo's strengths. Jones's analysis highlights just how critical strategy will be in determining the winner. As the fight approaches, one thing remains undeniable: Crawford's confidence is unshakable. He is fully aware of the challenges ahead, yet he remains steadfast in his belief that he will emerge victorious. For Crawford, self-doubt is not an option. He has spent years honing his craft, taking on elite competition, and proving his doubters wrong. Facing Canelo is simply another opportunity for him to showcase his greatness. Crawford has made it clear that he is not intimidated by the size difference or the weight of expectations. His mindset is that of a true champion, determined, focused, and unwavering. He believes that his skill set and preparation will be enough to secure victory. His confidence is infectious, as he refuses to acknowledge the possibility of defeat. To him, winning isn't just a goal, it's an inevitability. This level of self-belief has always been a defining trait of boxing's greatest champions. The ability to shut out external noise and focus entirely on the task at hand is what separates good fighters from legendary ones. Crawford's confidence isn't rooted in arrogance but in years of hard work and dedication. He knows that he has the tools to win, and he intends to prove it when he steps into the ring. With strong opinions from boxing legends, analysts, and fans alike, the anticipation for this fight continues to build. The debate over whether weight will play a significant role is ongoing, but as many experts have pointed out, skill and mindset are just as crucial. Canelo's power and experience will be tested against Crawford's speed and precision, and the outcome remains uncertain. The unpredictability of this fight is what makes it so compelling. Will Canelo's strength and aggression overpower Crawford, or will Crawford's technical mastery and strategic brilliance expose Canelo's weaknesses? These questions will finally be answered when the two warriors face off. As fight night approaches, the excitement and speculation reach fever pitch. Boxing fans around the world are eager to witness whether Crawford can defy expectations or if Canelo will once again prove his dominance. Regardless of the outcome, this bout has all the ingredients to be a historic showdown, one that will be discussed for years to come. Now, the question remains, does weight truly determine the outcome of a fight, or is it all about who controls the action? With so many perspectives and analyses in play, there's only one way to find out. When the bell rings, both fighters will have their moment to prove their worth. What do you think? Will Canelo's power and experience be enough to secure victory, or will Crawford shock the world with his skill and precision? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more updates and expert analysis on the biggest fights in boxing.